If you struggle with a consistent club path in your swing, whether it's to inside out or outside in, the first thing you should look at is your shoulder tilt or your shoulder line at the top of your swing. If this is off, no matter how much you train your arms, you'll never have consistent, lasting results. When we set up to the golf ball, we have a certain spine angle. At the top of our swing, we basically want our shoulder line to be perpendicular with our spine at address. So if my spine's here, I want my shoulders to basically be here at the top of my swing. By far the most common mistake is the shoulder tilt gets way too level at the top, and this leads to inconsistency. In this video, we're going to talk about how to fix that with using our legs rather than just trying to tilt more. Going back a step, golf is a rotation sport, but the ball is on the ground, so we're playing more on an incline like this. We'll just call this 45 degrees. The problem and why you're inconsistent if your shoulders get too flat at the top is too flat here. I have to get down to the golf ball because if I just rotated from here, I would swing way above the golf ball. If I'm flat here, I have to get back down to the ball, and you'll either do a bunch of different things. The arms will do weird things, like they'll go over, or the chest will go way forward and the arms will go under. It's just very tough to be consistent if you're very flat here and you have to get steep again on the ball, and that just leads to a lot of inconsistencies. If we want to be more consistent and allow our arms to not have to manipulate to try and get back to the ball because our body's in the wrong spot, we have to be on much more of a similar tilt here that our spine was at address. Now, there doesn't have to be a bunch of different changes to get back to the ball. So we got to get more tilt here so that we don't have to do a bunch of extra moves to get back to the ball, and that'll lead to a lot more consistent strike and consistent path. To fix this, we're going to use our legs. What I've found from using force plates in in-person lessons is that most people don't really use their legs. It's very easy to not use our legs because this only weighs like a pound, so we can feel like we can move this very fast. But if our legs don't move at all, so let's just pretend that they're frozen and not moving, we have to get our power from our upper body. If we're trying to get power, we're not just going to keep our upper body still. We're not going to go still and still. We'd hit the ball nowhere. So instead, if this is frozen, we're going to move our upper body because it's going to create more power. Just the problem is if our upper body moves a bunch, we're going to get too flat of shoulders. So the key is, instead of having legs that don't move and a chest that does move, we have to do the exact opposite. Our chest is going to stay relatively still, but our legs are going to be allowed to move. When we do that, we're going to get much more of a tilt. This is how you're going to have more active legs. So this will be more still. We're going to allow our lower body to be a little bit more active. We're going to do this in 2 steps. Number 1, we're going to allow ourselves to sway a little bit to the right to start the swing. It doesn't have to be a large sway. It just a little bit just to start the swing. If you look at a lot of pros, if you look at their belt buckle, there's just a little bit of movement to the right to start their swing, even before the club moves back. So that's getting the legs a little bit more active. Step 2 is we need to use our right leg. If I did nothing with my right leg and I just pushed with my left to sway a little bit, right leg does nothing, I would never stop and I'd just continue to sway. So we want to stop the sway, and we're going to do that by pushing into the ground. And that is going to straighten our leg. It's not that we're going to try and straighten our leg. It's very similar to jumping. If I jump, I push into the ground to go up. My legs happen to straighten, but it's just because I push into the ground. It's going to be very similar here. So we're going to sway just a little bit to start, and then to stop the sway so that we don't continue to go, we're going to push into the ground with our right leg. I'm kind of pushing a little bit at an angle like this. So now when I do that, I sway. I'm going to stop the sway, so I push into the ground, and my leg is going to straighten a little bit. It doesn't have to like lock out. It's just going to get straighter than it was before. So let's say I have however much bend this is, sway, push into the ground, it just gets straighter. So there's still some bend, but it's just straighter than it was before. Now when you see it from this angle, I sway, and now I'm stopping the sway and pushing into the ground with the right foot. It's going to look like more like this. And now you can see I have much more of a tilted shoulder. From this view, you're going to see my chest is going to stay pretty still. My legs sway a little bit. Right leg pushes into the ground and straightens. And now I have more of this tilt. You can practice this all at home, getting the more active legs really in this first part of the swing. So it's really like pushing, and then this leg pushes, And it's really all happening before the club even gets 3-4 feet away from the ball. And this will just create the more tilted shoulders, which will get your path much more consistent because now your arms don't have to do weird things to get back to the ball. And will also increase your speed because now you're using bigger muscles like your legs rather than just your arms and your upper chest to try and create power.